What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the eCommerce Influence Podcast. My name is Austin Brawner, and I'm excited to bring you an episode today with John Oz. John Oz is the head of growth at Optimonk. Optimonk has been a partner of ours for a long time. They've been doing a great job at supporting e-commerce business owners, helping them create unique, interesting pop-ups and overlays and drive more sales and capture more emails. And I want to bring John on to talk a little bit about what they're learning, because they have access to data points that we don't have. And one of the things that they've been experimenting with is something called Conversational Popups. And he's got a great, interesting case study of how they tripled signups and boosted revenue by 25% with some conversational pop-ups that they've been experimenting with. We're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about customer value optimization, qualitative pop-ups, and give you some tactical advice. I think it's a good one if you're interested in some quick, easy tweaks to your website that'll make you some more money. So I hope you enjoy this episode with John Oz.
Hey man, thanks for having me here.
I'm excited. I'm pumped up. This is something that I've been involved in working on for a long time. I was thinking back to like the beginning of my career when I was first doing marketing, and one of the first things that I was tasked to work on was create a pop-up. And still now, I guess 8 years later, it's still an incredibly effective tool. And I'm excited today to talk a lot about like what's actually happening out there and some of the tech changes and the things that you guys have learned at Optimonk that have been, I mean, you guys have so much access to different businesses and have learned so many different things. So I'm pumped to talk with you. I'd like to start with like, what are you excited about in the world of overlays and in pop-ups?
Great. I'm actually really excited about this recent experiment that we have done with our e-commerce clients. I mean, everybody uses pop-ups, right? But most people are using it in the wrong way. So traditional way of using pop-up, you just give a discount and then ask for an email or just push people for a purchase, right? That's good. That works. But there's a better way. If you think that this has been working for you, there's something a lot better out there right now. And I'm not just making this up because I've been running experiments about this at the Optimonk.
We've all seen people start with like, it's like the tradition, 10% off. Like you'll see that everywhere.
Yeah. 10% off, 20% off, and then give me your name, give me your email, that's it. You're not gathering any personalized data that you can utilize later on for your remarketing campaigns. What we released recently is something called Conversational Popup. And if you think that pop-ups have been working well for you, this is gonna 3x your pop-up game. How? As I said, we've been running an experiment with our clients, and actually today I got the results. So we had an experiment where we compared a traditional pop-up on the homepage, which is basically like what you said, 10% off, give me your name and email. Yeah, 10%, 20%, right? There's no personalization. We compared this one with what we call conversational pop-ups. So conversational pop-ups, instead of just giving random discounts, they ask user to choose whatever it is that they're interested in. So the purpose here is to start the conversation, make the journey personalized for your homepage visitors, okay? So we tested the traditional pop-up versus the conversational pop-up.
And how are they different?
Yeah, let me just remember the exact numbers. So traditional pop-up had 6% conversion rate, 6.7 or 8. Where on the other hand, conversational pop-up had 21% conversion rate. So that's like more than three times in engagement.
And how are you guys tracking conversions? Does that mean email capture, email and SMS? What are you guys looking at there?
For this experiment, we experimented with the email. So we're trying to capture emails. But then also we wanted to test this on like what kind of support we got for the revenue by using conversational pop-ups. It just like give or take 25% more revenue on the conversational pop-up versus the traditional pop-up for us, for our clients. And I'm really excited to see all these results.
So I would love to dive into this. This is because that's very, very interesting, right? If you could like triple your opt-ins and boost your revenue by like 25%. So when you are designing this experiment and you're looking at, okay, well, we've got a traditional pop-up. What was the traditional offer that you guys were offering?
Traditional offer is basically, let's say that I'm landing on the website for the first time, or a visitor's landing.
In this experiment, what were you guys offering? Can you talk about what you're offering?
Yeah, 10% off. Give me your email.
So it was 10% off.
It was 10% off. Yeah.
And then what about on the conversational commerce? What was like how did you guys design this to make it different?
It's still a 10% off, by the way. Like, we didn't play with the number, but the way conversational pop-ups are set up changes a lot of things. I can tell you why. So with the traditional pop-up, we just ask name and email, and that's it. And that could be quite annoying, right? Because I'm randomly sending you discount codes. I don't know what's it that you're looking for. I'm just asking for your email. Why should you give me your email? You didn't give me any value, right? On the conversational pop-up side, we start by asking people, what is it that you're interested with today? What are you looking for? Let's say you're selling clothes. Are you looking for shirts? Are you looking for skirts? Or are you looking for sweatpants? So the conversational pop-ups, as the name suggests, starts by asking questions so that we can segment those users, and based on what they pick, we can give them the right discount. We can show them the right products based on whatever they picked.
Cool.
That's the main difference.
And so with the 10%, are you giving, in this type of example, are you giving like 10, if they say, all right, I'm looking for jeans, for example, or pants, are you then, does the conversation, the way that you guys structure it, can you actually deliver a coupon just for pants?
We don't deliver just for pens, but we make the experience personalized. Like, if you're looking for pens, I'm going to show you the best products, best selling ones on the pens category. You'll still have the discount. It's not going to be specific for pens, but just the messaging will be framed as it is specific for the pens.
Sure. So that's massive. I mean, 300% increase, 25% increase in revenue. So how many people, you said this is brand new. Mm-hmm. You guys are just kind of starting to, it's rolled out now. Who do you think this is going to be the best for? Like, what type of businesses should dive into this right away?
I think it's good for everyone, but it's best if you have like several categories and if you have a lot of product offerings. Why? Because when you have a lot of categories and product offerings, this could create choice of paradox. People could be confused like, which product, where do I find the product that I'm looking for? Which one is the best product? But when you have this conversational pop-up setup, you can basically ask people what's it that they're looking for, and then display them the best products in that category. So this is going to remove the friction for them. This is going to kill the choice of paradox, because they don't have to choose the best one, because you will already show them the best ones.
Sure. I
see this like conversational pop-up as I usually like to give this analogy to describe what it is. Like, let's say that you're going to Harrods, a department store in London, which is one of my favorite stores. It's quite big. And as soon as you enter the store, Clark approaches you and says, "Hey, like, do you want to check the perfumes, latest designer perfumes?" And you're like, "No, like, I don't want it, because I'm here for shoes," right? It's quite annoying that you come to me and then pushing me to go and check the perfumes. I don't want it. This is traditional pop-up. Okay, you're randomly sending messages. Let's take the same example, and you enter the Harrods department store again, and this time Clark approaches and says, "What is it that you're looking for?" And then you say, "I'm looking for designer shoes." And then she is saying, "All right, let me take you there and show you the latest shoes." This is not going to annoy you, right? Because you're starting a conversation.
Oh, and by the way, shoes are 10% off today.
I wish in Harrods we could get shoes for the discount.
Yeah. So what do you think about collecting both emails and text messages at the same time? What way do you find that, like, in what way can you do that the most effectively without drop off, with a high completion rate between email and text message? Have you seen any people doing unique, interesting strategies that you were like, oh wow, that's a sharp, smart way to think about it?
Usually I like to, provide an incentive. So let's go back to the conversational pop-up example. Instead of saying that on the first pop-up, instead of saying that we'll give you a 10% discount, I like to use something. We experimented with this as well. It worked well. I like to use some mystery to arouse curiosity. Instead of saying, I'll give you 10% if you complete this, I say something like, there is a mystery, like something like mystery gift waiting you if you complete this. And that arouses curiosity in people's head. That's the one thing that we've been using, and it's been working well for us. Just like injecting some curiosity into your pop-ups and incentivizing people.
Anecdotally, I mean, we've got a couple of clients who've been doing that, and they've tested significant amounts of ad spend to their website, and some sort of like a mystery combined with, on the second step, using like capturing the SMS has been a very effective way to go about, where it's like, all right, sign up for the mystery, put your email in, and then afterwards collecting the SMS on the thank you page for some additional like transaction, where it's like, okay, I've already got your email, but if you sign up today, you get some 10% off or $10 off your first order over 100. If you put your text message, I'll send you in that code. That's been super, super effective and interesting to watch. Not everybody's doing it, but a lot of people are having success with that.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, like we've been experimenting with adding this mystery element into our conversational pop-ups, and it's been working great for us. And incentive doesn't have to be monetary all the time.
Sure.
Anyway, so we've been.
What are some good non-monetary incentives that you've seen people use that you're like, all right, that's a good one.
Like content, giving content upgrades. So if you know that your users are interested with necklaces, for example, right? If you have some necklace style guide for 2022, that's super interesting. If you know what your users are interested with and you create content around that topic, and then you offer this as an incentive, grab our 2022 style guide. That's quite interesting for your audience. And I've seen that a couple of companies doing it mostly with the nutrition stuff. Because if you're a company selling supplements, and then you have this unique ebook, unique content, it's about the diets. People would be interested to get that ebook, and they would easily give their email address to you in terms of for getting this value.
I think it's interesting. The more, like the longer the buying cycle for the product, the more valuable content tends to be in the sales process, right? And especially, I think something like supplements works really well because while the buying. Well, that's not exactly true. I think supplements can work really well with content as long as the product that you're selling is something proprietary and people have to make a decision about whether or not they want to buy it, right? If it's something that's like commoditized and they're buying just over and over again, the content is not like collagen, right? Collagen is something that has been kind of commoditized, and people often go to Amazon and just like find one and buy it. But if you're selling something like, I've got an interesting stack of like a nootropic called Qualia, which is like their own proprietary blend of like herbs and adaptogens to help you improve your focus. That is like a perfect example of something that goes really well with content, because you need to learn more about whether or not, like about the type of nootropics. Like a nootropics buyer's guide would be really helpful if people are in the decision about choosing some unique nootropic to help them focus more.
Yeah, exactly. Sales enablement content, it works. And also like if you have the blog, and then you can just go to your blog and find the content that has been getting the most engagement. Just take that content, take that blog article, turn it into a PDF, frame it as an ebook, and then offer that as an incentive. That works too. We experimented this with some of our clients, and it's been working well, especially in the nutrition space.
Yeah.
Yeah, like recipes, giving some recipes as a content upgrade, like if you're into nutrition, because
sure. So one of the big, questions that people always have is, how can I boost my average order value? How can I increase cart value? What are things that you've seen that people are doing with OptiMonk to increase cart value? Like what on the e-commerce side, is there anything that you've seen that's been effective, or is that kind of something that's not really possible?
The thing is, you have to make the perceived value greater than what people are paying for. And I think the greatest way of doing that is that you have to bundle up your offer, right? What I've seen from our clients, again, I'm going to give content as an example. Some of our clients, they created ebooks from their existing content, okay? They had like 10, 12 articles, which are all about the same topics. And then they packed all those articles together, converted into a PDF, and made an ebook, okay? So, and then during the checkout process, they offered this ebook. Instead of saying something like, "Oh, it's normally $49, but if you buy this product, it's for free." Mm-hmm. So what you're doing here, you're actually increasing the perceived value in the eyes of your customers. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. Like, I'm a content guy. I usually advise our clients to use content effectively to increase the perceived value. Right. That's the one thing that's been working well for our clients, just like creating some offers, creating some content, ebooks, and then adding that into the bundle.
Cool. What's your favorite marketing book that you've been if you think of one recently you've been interested in?
I like Seth Godin's books. I don't know if I pronounced his surname correctly.
Yeah.
Marcus Sheridan, They Ask You Answer, or it could be something else too. This book will basically teach you how to create content for sales enablement.
Interesting.
Yeah, it teaches people how you can create content based on what your customers are already asking from you. So that's a great book. I would definitely recommend everyone to read that if you're interested with converting more with the content.
Cool. I'll check that out. Yeah, it's always interesting because I know you're a marketing guy who's been focused on mostly like a lot of B2B stuff. Is there anything from the B2B side that people do really well that you feel like people should be doing on the direct-to-consumer side?
Yes,
Besides
definitely.
Content, because we dove into content a little bit, which is something people do really
no,
well.
it's not going to be content. It's going to be on the conversion rate optimization side.
Yeah.
One thing that I've realized is people like e-commerce brands are focused a lot on just converting people, but they're not really focusing on gathering qualitative feedback on why people don't convert. I haven't seen a lot of qualitative feedback pop-ups running on e-commerce stores.
When you say qualitative, for people who don't know what that is, what does that actually mean?
Basically just asking people questions like, what prevented you from buying today? Okay.
Yeah.
In SaaS, in B2B world, this is quite common, but I don't see this a lot on the e-commerce space. So I can give a practical example of how this would work. Let's say that you have this problem that most of your visitors, they are stuck at the cart stage and they just abandon the cart, right? And then you're wondering like, oh, why? Mm-hmm. The best way to know this is just to run qualitative feedback pop-up, right? Before your visitors go for exit, just use an exit intent pop-up and ask people, what prevented you from buying today? And then I'm sure you're going to get a lot of interesting answers. And again, we've been experimenting this with our clients, and we found really interesting stuff. And when we presented all these results to our clients, they were like, "Oh, we had no idea people didn't buy because of XYZ results." Like, for example, there's this supplement company, and when we run this qualitative feedback, I think maybe like 25 or 30% of the respondents say that your products are always out of stock, and this is quite annoying. So how about you create some mailing strategy where you notify us? And then I presented this to the management team. They were like, "Oh, we didn't think that this would be annoying." Well, big chunk of your customers are annoyed because of this. So I definitely recommend people to use qualitative feedback on their high intent pages. Again, you can use this on a product page. If someone is on your product page for like 25 to 30 seconds and they're still not buying, just release a pop-up and say, what's preventing you from buying today, and make it open-ended answer.
And then can they type with OptiMonk? Can you type right in there into?
Yeah.
And then, oh, wow, it's really nice.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I use that for Optimum, and I also use that for our clients as well to gather qualitative feedback. Because the thing is, if you want to convert more, you have to understand why people don't convert, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't ask them, how are you going to know what you need to fix it?
For sure. And something as simple as like, we're not buying because the product's not in stock and it's annoying. And can you let us know when it comes in stock so we don't keep going to the website, looking at it? I mean, I think about how annoyed I was when the whole pandemic started. I had 2 kettlebells. That's it. And thankfully, I bought those 2 kettlebells in like a panic at like a Walmart at like 11 o'clock when I was like, all right, we're going to get locked down for a while here. And then I was hunting for kettlebells for months and months and months, and they were sold out everywhere. And I went around and I just signed up on all these different lists to be reminded of when these kettlebells are going to come out. And I get an email like every 2 weeks, it'd be like kettlebells back in stock. And I just like rush to try to buy one. And sometimes they'd be already sold out, or sometimes I'd get one. And slowly over a period of, I don't know, it was like 6 months, I acquired all this stuff. But it was such a natural thing for me where I was like, oh, no, I just want to sign up and just let me know the next time it comes back in stock. I don't want to go back there and there's so many, it's very easy to do that. You can go do that with Klaviyo, or there's even apps that will help you, let people know when you in stock. What are you seeing is anyone doing that? Have you seen this with like SMS messages? Because I feel like that's kind of where it makes the most sense to restock, like to let people know about.
If we're talking about the restocking issue, I think the best channel to use on that is definitely SMS. Because people might not see the mail, but if you just send them the message and say, hey, like the product you've been looking for is in stock right now.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a lot more effective. Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's going to be a lot more effective. But yeah, I'm really big fan of gathering qualitative feedback. Like, let me give you another example from another client that we worked with. So they come to us and they said, look, we do have, a lot of cart abandoners, and we don't know the reason. We've been changing the ads, changing the marketing copy, but nothing works. So we run the qualitative feedback, and those guys were selling glasses, sunglasses, okay? And what we found out is that I guess it was something like 50% of the respondents, they said that they're afraid to buy. It's because they don't know if the glasses will fit them. Right? So what we did one simple tweak. So we added this one sentence into the copy. Then we basically said, try it at home, and if you don't like it, you can return it. So this worked wonders for us. It's because we knew what was the problem. We knew what was holding back their prospective customers from converting, and then we addressed that with the copy.
It makes sense. I mean, it's like, I think often if you're trying to figure out ways to boost sales, just going back to like 101 level stuff, which is you like Seth Godin. Seth Godin's always talking about like doing a lot of the basics really, really well, asking people, figuring out where their challenges are, and then addressing that in your copy and improving and moving on. That's awesome. That's awesome. I really like those ideas. So one of the things I want to talk to you about is customer value optimization, CVO, like what you can do with this. What is customer value optimization, and how should business owners be thinking about this and using it to dictate maybe the way that they're displaying different things on their website to their customers, or not in customers?
Customer value optimization is a methodology that we've been using for a while to optimize our pop-up campaign strategy. So it's basically a methodology that aims to make the on-site journey experience 10 times better than the usual for your prospects. So instead of pushing people for an instant conversion, you try to analyze their steps, the steps in the funnel, and then you try to optimize each funnel step 10 times better, give them more value, so that they become happy customer, they become returning customer, and increase the brand loyalty and increase the lifetime value you get from them.
And so when you're thinking about this, like where do you start?
You start by segmenting your website visitors. So you have to understand that every person who comes to your website will have a different purpose and different intent. And each page that you have on your e-commerce store will serve to a different group, right? So first of all, you start segmenting your website visitors, product page visitors, cart and checkout abandoners, new homepage visitors, blog visitors. You segment all those visitors, right? And then you start to think about, how can I deliver more value to each segment? What kind of message would resonate with them?
And so then you provide it by, what's an example of something that would be exciting to somebody who is, early on in their journey for jewelry? Is this kind of like back to the conversational thing where you're like, hey, look at a buyer's guide?
With the content, yes. Of course, if you have the content and you're offering this content in the customer's first experience, that's obviously going to help your visitors to have positive bias against your brand, because it's day one, the first minute they're visiting your website and you're giving them value for free already, right? Cool. So this is going to increase the chances of converting.
Definitely something to dive into. I know you've got something coming up, a webinar coming up about Black Friday. What can you tell us about this webinar and what you guys are doing?
Mm-hmm. Sure. In this webinar, we will basically do a step-by-step guide on how you can use conversational pop-ups to increase your sales. And alongside with that, I'll also be giving a framework that people can use it before they design their pop-ups for the Black Friday campaign. So two things: how can you use conversational pop-ups for Black Friday? In the beginning, I mentioned our clients get like 3 times more conversion with the conversational pop-ups. So I'm going to talk about how people can do this and how you can design the best pop-up by using the framework that I created, and make sure that you're ready for the Black Friday.
Cool. When is that?
It's going to happen 29th of October. It's planned to happen in 29th of October.
Cool. We'll put a link to sign up unless it's easy for you to share here, or should I just put it in a link in the show notes?
Yeah. I'll definitely be happy to share a link. I'll definitely give you a link, and then we can definitely put that into the description. By that time, we will have more data on conversational pop-ups.
Awesome. John, it's been great chatting with you. And I'm a huge Optimonk fan. I love what you guys are doing. I'm so excited that you guys have continued to grow, innovate, and you'll definitely going to be putting some of these conversational pop-ups on our site. I know we've experimented a little bit, but we're going to go deeper into this. Thanks again, man, for hopping on here and sharing with me some of the stuff you've been learning.
Thanks so much for having me here, man. It was really a pleasure to speak here.
Awesome. John, have a great day, man.
You too.